Hello, world. Hello, world, and welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from the Joy Virtual Studio right here in the beautiful Finger Lakes region of New York State. It is so good to be with all of you today. We are bumbling and stumbling through self-production this month. Great to see every one of you on all of the streams today. Of course, we're live on Rumble, live on Twitter, Spreely TV, Roku TV, Apple TV. We are live on Substack, live on Facebook, YouTube, you name it. The Shannon Joy Show is there. And I'm so sorry. I apologize. I have had such insane tech difficulties this week. Once again, late to the show. I had to restart the stream because things weren't working. It was uploaded to the wrong account. Everything is a mess. We've been troubleshooting with Substack for the past few days. Hopefully, please Jesus, we are live on Substack today. And so because of the late start, we have a much lower viewer count than we normally do because typically we have time to gather up the viewers. So we're just going to ease into the show today. Thank you for everyone who is here with us. I'm going to get better at the self-production. I promise you. I can't believe yesterday was just a nightmare. A nightmare. Worst intro in the history of the SJ show. I almost cried live on air. You guys, those of you who were here for it, it was painful. I know. But one of the best interviews I've ever done, Tiffany Cianci came ready to play yesterday. Blockbuster interview. I'm just starting to work on clipping that interview. There is so much there. We need so many clips. She really brought the truth to the table. Absolutely unbelievable interview with Tiffany Cianci yesterday. If you are not following the Vino Mom, you need to be following her. Really just absolute bombshells from Tiffany. First of all, you know, we just kind of like skipped over this. We didn't really get into it in detail. I probably should have asked her a little bit more about this, but the fact that she is now calling out J.D. Vance as the real arch techno-fascist. He's the prize. He's the guy. As they begin to exit Donald Trump stage left, the techno-fascists are salivating at the opportunity to install their puppet, their guy. Peter Thiel created J.D. Vance. And she didn't mince words yesterday talking about how she believes that this has been in the works for over 12, maybe 13 years. And today, interestingly enough, I don't have clips, but J.D. Vance is all over mainstream news media. Big interview with Megyn Kelly. Big interview with the ladies on The View. Sounding like the voice of reason, the tempering factor in a world gone mad under Donald Trump. Can't you just see the script being written right now as Trump loses his mind or gets impeached or loses the midterms, whatever it is that they use, whatever the storyline is that they use to exit Donald Trump? You can begin to see them grooming the American people and the American electorate for J.D. Vance. And this is not a good thing. He is a puppet of the techno-fascists. Tiffany Cianci echoing astounding revelations from Ed Dowd. I was just pulling clips from my interview a couple days ago with Ed Dowd. And, you know, he really did not mince words when it came to talking about what we're dealing with here. I have a clip for you that I'm going to play for you from the Ed Dowd interview. This, as I went back and found it, it actually shocked me. I pushed it out on Twitter just a minute ago, but take a look at what he had to say from that interview.
Ball right now, but clearly, let's call balls and strikes. You've been very vocal about your you saw Trump one way. I put out a tweet in August of 2024 to watch for signs that the Trump administration might be compromised or infiltrated. Well, let's go forward. Where are we? Without getting personal, he's betrayed almost every campaign promise he's made. Let's just get that out there. Yeah. So if you're and at this point, you need to have an open mind and stop being tribalistic
Mm-hmm.
You need to call balls and strikes, and you need to be on Team Humanity, not Team GOP, not Team Blue.
Right.
We got a problem going on, and the problem is, there's a plan to implement a technocracy to
Yep.
control everything we do, and it's
Mm-hmm.
insane, and it's
Yeah.
satanic. Whether you believe in God or not, it's a satanic system where basically your freedoms are eradicated, and they can control you through.
I could not believe he actually said that. Now, Ed Dowd, he's a straight shooter. He's a no nonsense guy. He is not hyperbolic. He's not one to go out with his hair on fire. That's what he's famous for. He kept many of us sane during the COVID lockdowns of 2020 with his rational takes and his reasonable takes on what was actually going on. An absolute truth teller in those times. And for him to say, first and foremost, Donald Trump, balls and strikes, he has betrayed every promise. We are seeing that. We need to be on Team Humanity, not Team Blue or Team Red. And let's just call it what it is, an evil, satanic plan to implement a technocracy and control everything. And that is Ed Dowd. I was shocked that he said that. And I was glad that he said that because I share his sentiment. He is saying what we've been talking about for many, many years here on the Shannon Joy Show. He is saying what we were talking about with Patrick Wood a year and a half ago, Aaron Day 2 years ago. We talked about this with Catherine Austin Fitts and Tiffany Cianci. This is based on a lot of the writing and the work of Whitney Webb and her team of journalists over at Unlimited Hangout. We've been talking about this with so many experts who have been ringing the alarm bell about techno-fascism, technocracy, and ideology, an evil, satanic, global ideology to control everything. And a lot of people were not willing to go there a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But once again, we were ahead of the pack on that on this show because of the amazing expert guests that we featured here for so many years. So I'm really glad to see that more and more people are talking about this. I have a lot to get to on the show today. Incredible interview between Tucker Carlson and one of the most famous economists in the world, Professor Richard Werner, on just that, the technocracy, techno-fascism, control of everything using technology, digital ID, and digital currencies. So all of this is coming, and some big voices are beginning to talk about this. I have a full overview of that Tucker Carlson interview here. We're going to go through it today, and I've linked it in the show notes. This is a must-watch interview. Whether you like or dislike Tucker Carlson, whether you believe he is authentic and genuine or he is a limited hangout, whether you believe he is a true independent or a Fed, I don't really care. I don't know. I just look for the fruit. And the fruit in this interview was killer. So this is one, if you guys want to begin to understand what is coming our way and what's going on, that is a great place to start. Also, make sure you go back, watch yesterday's show with Tiffany Cianci. It was a blockbuster, and I'll have clips for you on that as well. And go back and watch the show that I did last week with Edward Dowd on Friday. Another blockbuster, different perspectives. They don't completely align, but they are all going in the same direction. And if you don't believe that this isn't evil, if you think the word satanic or evil is too hyperbolic or emotional to describe what they are planning for us, I want to show you this video clip. It was made by an aggregator on Twitter and was very punchy, and it gets right to the point regarding what these globalists have planned for us. The question is, are they going to get away with it? We know what they want to implement. We know the mechanisms by which they will implement the incoming techno-fascism and control police surveillance state. So we know this now. They're even saying it in their own words. The question is, are we going to be able to organize effectively, efficiently against it and stop them? I believe that we can. This is why I do the show every day right here on Rumble and on X, on Facebook, all the platforms. It's because I believe we can win. I believe humanity can win, along with Ed Dowd and Tiffany Cianci and Catherine Austin Fitz and Michael Yon and all the amazing guests that we have on the Shannon Joy Show. I wouldn't do this show every day if I didn't believe that there was so much that we could do here in the United States of America to stop them. And that is the mission overall. But take a look at this. This is what they have planned in their own words.
Putting an end to anonymity on social media.
You do not even have to have elections anymore because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
What we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.
People eat too much meat. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. That's something that we can do through human engineering.
Why do you want to own a cell phone if you can just lease it? And if you lease, why shouldn't you lease your refrigerator or your washing machine or your dishwasher, or why do you want to own it?
Now imagine the situation in 10 or 20 years when an algorithm can tell any teenager exactly where he or she is on the gay-straight spectrum.
In 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brain. I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants.
Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker.
Humans are now hackable animals.
There's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. People believing that they've been at Disney World with characters who are not Disney characters, taking photographs with those characters.
Yeah, sounds pretty evil to me. What do they have in store for us? No more elections, no democracy, no consent of the governed, right? You can penetrate the Capitol. So they're going in and they're penetrating the seats of power in Western democracies across the globe, J.D. Vance included, and Trump as well. People eat too much meat. They don't want us eating meat anymore. So they're going to deploy ticks or mosquitoes to inject us somehow and make us allergic to meat. We have a renter's economy, no more property, no more home ownership, no more owning anything. You own nothing. You rent everything, a subscription-based world, a subscription-based economy, brain implants, total surveillance of every man, woman, child, blade of grass, every organic thing on the face of the planet, surveilled, that surveillance collected and used to control. I mean, come on, horrifying. So when people say that this is an evil plan, it's an evil plan. These people are mad scientists. These people are drunk with power. These people have lost their minds. And so when I say narcissistic sociopaths in seats of power, I mean it. Now, this was the WEF. We do know that the WEF and some of these global planners who want to implement techno-fascism, they have deployed front-facing politicians into our capitals, people like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and the head of, Justin Trudeau, the leaders in the UK and in Canada and across the globe, Australia as well. And yes, LT Oracle of Truth, planned obsolescence on humanity, 100%. I agree with you. So we are up against some pretty nasty characters, but the resistance is strong and more people are waking up to what is going on. Big show for all of you today. But isn't it crazy that Trump supporters today in the US have to defend, pedophiles, inflation, World War III, and data centers? It's crazy out there right now. And Trump seems to be crazier and crazier, which is why I do believe they're beginning to groom the American electorate for J.D. Vance. Mark my words. But today we're continuing to rage against this machine and the techno-fascists. We're diving deep into the coming tech dystopia, as I mentioned, with a review of Tucker Carlson's must-watch interview with Richard Werner, arguably the most famous economy in the world. And in that interview, they're exposing how centralized control and AI are going to reshape our world if they get away with it. We also have Sasha Latypova, an excellent piece in Substack from Sasha Latypova. She's sounding the alarm on Bobby Kennedy Jr. Being ousted. So this is the in the rumor mill that he's on his way out. We're going to look at that today, somewhere around early July, maybe July 4th. But also, she's sounding the alarm. I have a piece here about the indefinite detention of healthy people, calling it utterly insane and criminal. This is a crazy story of a woman in Florida who was said to have Hantavirus. She was quarantined in another state and is now being held prison because she's declining 24-hour quarantine surveillance and other countermeasures. So they are holding her captive. They refuse to allow her back to her home state of Florida, and it is insane. Sasha Latypova is calling that utterly insane and criminal. We have that as well, and a piece from her that is excellent. 3-part I told you so. Sasha Latypova will be with us tomorrow to talk about all of this. Big lawsuit settled. Merck, the creators of HPV, have settled for an undisclosed amount with, I believe, hundreds of Americans who were injured, debilitated by the HPV vaccine Gardasil. This is the first of its time, guys, the first time in U.S. history. It's a civil lawsuit, and Merck decided to settle this lawsuit against somewhere over 200 individuals who were injured by the Gardasil vaccine, which is still on the CDC recommended list of childhood injections. Tragically, under this administration, the HHS administration of Bobby Kennedy Jr., but that's a different topic. But this is huge. This is absolutely huge. First time that we have seen monetary damages awarded outside of the Vaccine Injury Compensation Fund. That is the fund, a governmental fund that pays out after you go to the secret courts, the VAERS courts in Washington, D.C. If you're injured by a vaccine, you have to file a VAERS report. Then you have to submit that vaccine injury to the secret courts, and then they will award you or not award you based on your submission. At this point, the Vaccine Injury Compensation Fund only pays out about 2% of claims. So 98% of claims are declined. And by the way, the money that they pay out is not vaccine money. It's not pharmaceutical companies making those payments. It is the taxpayers. That's right. Every injection that goes into your body or the body of your child or your baby is taxed about, I think it's like 25%. And that money goes into a fund, and that's the money, your own money, is used to pay out if you are injured by a recommended vaccine by the CDC. And even in that case, it's only 2% of submissions. Insane. So I'm going to be taking a close look at this court case. We'll ask Sasha Latypova about it as well. Aaron Siri with a scathing open letter to Jay Bhattacharya, the head of NIH. He is supposedly one of our guys. He is supposedly a medical freedom warrior. He came in under Bobby Kennedy Jr., and he is now authorizing and overseeing over $1.24 billion to Pfizer to purchase childhood vaccines, COVID vaccines for babies and children and also adults. So a new contract for Pfizer, Jay Bhattacharya authorizing this, Aaron Siri coming out yesterday with an open letter exposing the entire thing. Unbelievable work by Aaron Siri. It seems like the medical freedom community is waking up, thank you, Jesus, to the betrayal of this administration, Donald Trump, tragically Bobby Kennedy Jr., and the people that he put in places of power to provide a reckoning for people who are injured by the COVID shots. And Aaron Siri didn't mince any words. He said, listen, we put you in power to give a voice to the people who were killed, maimed, or injured by the COVID shots. And you've done nothing to give them a voice or to even research the mechanisms of harm. I mean, that's what the NIH does. They have access to hundreds of billions of dollars in research grants and funding. And they can't author one study or commission one study to look at how the COVID shots injure people and kill people. We now have, I believe we're somewhere over 35,000 submissions to the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System for death post-COVID shot. And sometimes death occurs on the same day. There's new information on that coming out as well. So it's all just, insane. Sasha Latypova tomorrow on the Shannon Joy Show to talk about all of these issues and more. We also have today, we have a couple other things we're going to get to as well. But first, I want to say hello to all of you. How is everyone doing on the live chat? I see you all on YouTube. Great to see you on the live chat. Hopefully, we are live on Substack. I think we are. Fingers crossed. If you're watching on Substack right now, leave a comment and I'll check during the break to see if we're up on all the different platforms. But of course, we're so thankful for our friends over at Rumble. We broadcast out of the Rumble studio every day, and the Rumble live chat is one of the best populated and liveliest live chats in all of the chats. You guys have been a little quiet today. If you're watching right now on Rumble, please give this show a thumbs up right now. We started late. We got the show up late. Nothing is going for us, and this is hurting us with the algorithm. So every time you guys go in there and hit that thumbs up button and follow the Shannon Joy Show, also joining the live chat helps as well, saying hello. This is going to feed the algorithm. It's going to get us boosted organically on Rumble. So if you guys can do that right now, if you haven't done it, do it right now as I go to the live chat to say hello to everyone. Mark the Regan is with us today. Hey, Gaelic Monkey, great to see you. Guitar Lily, hello, glad you're back. Busk and I were just wondering if all is well. The sound is working. Thank you, CJP Rumble. Guitar Lily thinks that all of my tech difficulties over the past few weeks has to do with the feds. It's the feds, Shannon, she says. They're effing with you. You are over the target. Thank you, Guitar Lily. We do cover topics here on the Shannon Joy Show that are not sufficiently covered on other shows. And that's why we continue to grow and grow organically. I want to make sure that I didn't forget to read this. There was an interesting Jimmy Dore clip that was making its way across Twitter. Oh, I just lost it. Regarding Steve Bannon, Jeffrey Epstein, and QAnon. Do you guys remember QAnon? I reported on QAnon years ago. I did deep dives on QAnon over, I want to say about like 8 or 9 years ago. It was in the first year of Trump's first presidency. And I came to the conclusion 8 or 9 years ago, this was back when I was doing radio only out of an AM radio station in a double wide trailer in a cornfield. That's how we started the SJ show. And I did a series of shows on QAnon, deep dives. And I came to the conclusion that QAnon was a psyop. I probably didn't call it a psyop at the time because that word hadn't been popularized yet, or maybe it had. But I essentially told my audience, do not believe anything. And QAnon was trust the plan, follow the crumbs. They needed a mechanism to explain why Trump in his first administration was betraying all of his promises. And, people sugarcoat Trump's first presidency. They say, oh, well, he did some good things in his first presidency. He really didn't. He said he did good things. It was a matter of discernible policy outcome. So he would say all these wonderful things and he would say he was going to do all of these wonderful things. But when the rubber hit the road and it came to actually implementing them, he never did them. The wall, the big, beautiful wall was the biggest evidence of that, right? Remember, there was supposed to be a massive wall built across the state of Texas, dividing, the United States and Mexico. It was supposed to be a continuous wall. All we ever got at the end of the day was about 300, maybe it was like 30 miles of fence repairs. I kid you not. That was it. Right? But 90% of Trump supporters today believe that he actually built a wall. So that was really the Trump presidency in that first administration. But QAnon, I believed then, and I think I'm being proven now, almost 10 years later, I'm being proven right, was designed to explain why Donald Trump was not making good on the promises that he made the American people. And so it was always trust the plan. It seemed inexplicable. It didn't make any sense. Why are you taking out the Freedom Caucus? Why are you, doubling, tripling down on Obamacare and funding it even more? Why aren't you defunding Planned Parenthood? All of these things. It was always a trust the plan type of situation. And on Jimmy Dore the other day, I mean, they say they have proof now. Where's that tweet? Let me see where it is. I have to go to my feed here. Oh, it's the wrong one. I'll find the tweet in the commercial break because I thought that was really interesting. And they brought in Cambridge Analytica too, which I talked about as well. I mean, 10 years ago. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Mark the Regan on the live chat. One reason that people don't believe in the number of psyops there are is that the sheer number of psyops there are. Like there are so many. It's crazy. I think that the word psyop should be the word of 2026. I think it's finally being popularized, and it's leading to a situation in this country where people don't believe anything. People don't believe anything that they see on screens. And that's actually kind of a good thing. When you look at what's happening with artificial intelligence and the deep fakes and the elaborate scripts, the elaborate plans, the psychological operations. We have a new commenter on the live chat. Hey, All Pro Zach, great to see you. Edgar 615 is with us as well. Estelle 3, great to see you. Super glad you're on the Rumble live chat as well. Again, first time commenter, appreciate you. Not surprised if RFK Jr. is ousted. It was designed from the very beginning, another psyop. Trump used him for the votes from the anti-jab voters. Dr. Oz will take his place, most likely saw it when Trump announced Dr. Oz. Well, very interesting. The rumor is that Dr. Oz is horrible. He was a vaccine Nazi. He was a lockdowner during the dark days of COVID-19 and the lockdowns of 2020. And I hate to say I told you so about Bobby Kennedy Jr. joining the Trump train. I was loudly and vocally in opposition to that from the very beginning. I was concerned about a number of things happening, and we'll talk with Sasha Latypova about that later. But it turns out that all of this was for nothing. We essentially achieved very little in the 1.5 years that we wasted feeding Bobby Kennedy Jr. to the sharks in Washington, D.C. And, a bunch of our medical freedom warriors as well. You don't get to Washington, D.C. without becoming complicit, I believe. Mark the Regan, wow, I did not know that RFK Jr. is out. Right now, Mark, it is a rumor, but I think it's a pretty credible rumor. And this was part of Sasha Latypova's 3-part I Told You So series. The first I Told You So from Sasha Latypova, and we're going to have her live in the Joy Virtual Studio tomorrow, is that that the rumors suggest that Bobby Kennedy Jr. could resign or be sidelined. Right now, HHS is denying this, but RFK Jr. himself hasn't commented. Sasha says that this is classic deep state maneuvering. They are pushing out the narrative before it happens. Bobby Kennedy Jr. has been used, according to Sasha, as a Muppet for credibility with MAHA and the medical freedom movement. We were right about this from day one. And Sasha Latypova was one of the very few within the medical freedom community that stood with me in the summer of 2024 and told the truth about what was going to be done to the medical freedom movement, MAHA, and Bobby Kennedy Jr. if he aligns with Donald Trump. Basically, they sought to break the movement, to fracture it. In many ways, they did. But we're still kicking. And the movement is growing outside of Washington, D.C. It is stale. It is floundering. It is over in the deep state swamp. But across the country, more and more Americans are waking up to the dangers of the CDC recommended shot schedule. And this is why we've seen this unprecedented, historic, landmark settlement from Merck in terms of, on behalf of 200 victims of the HPV shot Gardasil who were injured. Rather than going through that trial, Merck has decided to settle for an undisclosed amount. So we will never likely know the whole story there, but that's huge. This is the first case, civil case, to my knowledge, anywhere in the country ever, that monetary damages have been awarded to those who were injured by a vaccine outside of the VAERS system and the vaccine injury compensation fund. First time ever. Okay, this is telling you something about the culture. Less than 10% uptake of the COVID shots by Americans today because they don't trust the shots. The government's, still going to move forward in purchasing these shots, but I don't know who's going to take them. That's the culture. This is where we're having our greatest wins. It's just not translating to Washington, D.C., but it did translate to a court in a civil case. And that is huge. Guitar Lily with a comment. Thank you guys so much. If you are watching right now on Rumble, thumbs up and follow. Thumbs up and follow. We're clawing our way back to our normal viewership rates because you guys are commenting in the live chat in the comment section. And for those of you who are watching, give us that thumbs up and follow the SJ Show. It is working. Hey, bye-bye. Great to see you on the live chat. Guitar Lily with a comment. Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s appointment also served to discredit him. When he leaves, where is he going to go? The medical freedom movement no longer trusts him. He has been neutered. This was the conversations that I had with high-level people in the medical freedom movement about Bobby Kennedy Jr. joining the Trump campaign. I said it till I was blue in the face. You do not align with Trump and maintain your honor ever, 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 ever. He will use you. He will abuse you. He will make a fool out of you. He will ruin your credibility. And then when you're done, he will oust you. And you're going to have to go out and rebuild your credibility. I don't know if Bobby Kennedy Jr. ever can. Frankly, I don't really care. I hope Bobby comes out and gets to work on fighting from the outside in again, because that's where he was the most impactful. That was another argument that I made, that we have way more power when we are outside of the DC system than when we are in the DC system and part of the machine. Because essentially it's as if they took hostage some of the most important characters in the medical freedom movement. They held them hostage, and by default, the entire movement sat on its ass for a year and a half and just hoped and prayed. They trusted the plan. It's the QAnon sentiment, right? Oh, Bob, there's a secret, elaborate 12D plan in place to stick Bobby Kennedy in at HHS and just trust it. All of the victories are coming. People said that to me in the summer of 2024 and in the fall of 2024. I never voted for them because I knew that this was going to happen. And so we've had a largely impotent and neutered movement because our guys were being held hostage in Washington, D.C., or the guys that we thought were our guys. Whether they are or not, I don't know. There are many people out there who still believe that Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s intentions are good, that he's doing the best he can. I don't know. I don't talk to him. I'm not inside the room. I can't get inside his head. As you guys know here in the show, we judge them by their fruit. It is the discernible policy outcome that we keep an eye on here in the SJ Show. I don't care what they say. They all lie. All of them. Why do we believe what politicians say these days? It's the craziest thing I've ever witnessed. People believing politicians. It's crazy. H. Baird 36. Thank you for your comments. All pro Zach, FYI. Great to see you as well. Hey, Han Soto 1. Glad to see you on the live chat. Lots of chatters today. Ollie Robin 9 is with us, and Clones is with us as well. Buskman has this comment. Blessings, everyone. I tell everyone that the shots kill. So does my car. It has a black and white sign on the rear window proclaiming those very words. H-bar 36. You're right. He promised to renounce the Turkish citizenship if he was elected to the Senate. Since he lost to Fetterman, he didn't follow through with renouncing. Who are you talking about, H. Baird? Oh, Dr. Oz. I didn't know that. Yeah, Dr. Oz also advocated for transgendering children. He was a huge advocate for transgendering children and did shows about it. That's Dr. Oz. That's the guy that, rumor has it, Donald Trump is going to replace Bobby Kennedy Jr. with. Guitar Lily, SGT Report has been hammering the Trust the Planners lately. Good content there. Hey, Guitar Lily, thank you for that. Link me if you can. I would love to take a look at some of the work that they're doing, and we'll run some of their clips as well if they're any good. Bobby Sauce has taken down Dan Bongino again. I have a video for you. I know I've been teasing this video for a couple days. We've had so many tech difficulties here at the Shannon Joy Show that I'm just a hot mess. I am a hot mess. The shows suck. I'm so sorry. I'm doing the best I can. Thank goodness I have great guests. Like if I didn't have guests like Ed Dowd, Tiffany Cianci, Sasha Latypova coming up this week. We have Brandon Straka next week from Walk Away Movement. He led the Democratic walk away from the party movement many years ago. He was a former Democrat, but now it appears he might be ready to encourage MAGA people to walk away as well. We have a full hour with him next week in the Joy Virtual Studio. Also, Dr. Drew will be joining us on Medical Freedom News as well. But if it weren't for my guests, the show would totally suck. Let's just all be honest, because I'm just not good at this. I'm the worst self-producer in the history of the world. And that's just it. What can I say? I don't have uppers. I don't have lowers. I don't know how to transition screens or put people in boxes. I don't even know how to do that funny screen share thing. Like, where everyone does it, like they pull their screen up and then they're in a little box in the bottom corner and it looks cool. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do any of it. Annie Cyrus is taking pity on me right now, and she's going to help me. She's going to give me a tutorial today, actually after the show, and she's going to teach me how to push some buttons. Good luck to me with all of that. So thank you, Guitar Lily. Appreciate that link there. H Baird 36. I'm so glad you're having Brandon Straka on. So am I. He moderated a really interesting debate between pro-MAGA people, the MAGA cultists, and the walk-away people like Owen Schroyer, who was also on the Shannon Joy Show. He was one of the most famous walk-awayers. He left InfoWars and branched out as an independent based on Trump, the betrayals of Donald Trump early in the first few months of his presidency. And Owen Schroyer is actually maybe the first 6 months of his presidency. Owen Schroyer had a lucrative career, a massive platform, and everything at his fingertips with his position on InfoWars. And he walked away from it to become an independent because he wanted to be able to tell the truth about what Trump was doing to his own constituents. And so he was part of this debate. And it's the first time I have seen MAGA people actually confronted in a debate situation. They lost their minds, by the way. I mean, F-bombs, screaming, yelling, practically throwing chairs. It was insane. And not from the people who had simply walked away and had simply said that they expect Donald Trump to make good on the promises that he made as a candidate. That was their terrible, terrible sin. And the MAGA people just went bananas. Garth 777, Michael Yon bailed on Trump in 2015. I was right there with Michael Yon, Garth 777. People are very surprised to know that I have never, ever, ever once publicly supported or endorsed Donald Trump. Never voted for him. I'm a conservative. I'm a Christian. People think that I tend to lean somewhat right. I actually don't know what I am now. I'm independent fully, but people sometimes put me in a right-leaning category because when I started the show, I actually was a registered Republican, but I walked away from the Republican Party and became a blank no party in New York State over 10 years ago. So that was, so I've been completely consistent. It's wonderful. It is wonderful to welcome more and more people to the truth. It is glorious. The water is warm. Jump right in. It is amazing to not have to carry water for a politician, and especially a politician like Donald Trump. He makes it very difficult for his supporters, to support him. As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, if you are a Trump supporter, you have to defend today child rapists, pedophiles, bombing children, inflation, pain at the pump, World War III, and data centers, okay? Among other things, tech fascism, total surveillance, pump and dumps, inside scams, insider trading. I mean, these are all the things that you have to defend if you want to stay on the Trump train and continue your MAGA ways. It's getting harder and harder for people to justify their support. It's why Mark Levin, of all people, one of the biggest Trump humpers out there, has just recently parted ways with Trump on certain issues. So yeah, we are witnessing the exit stage left, I believe, of Donald Trump and the enter stage right of J.D. Vance, the puppet, the techno-fascist puppet, even more dangerous than Donald Trump, in my opinion. And if you want to learn more about that, listen to yesterday's show or watch yesterday's show with Tiffany Cianci. I'm going to be pulling out clips because they are killer. And they're apropos for the times. You know, J.D. Vance, he's on his public speaking tour right now. He's on with the ladies on The View. He's on with Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly likes Trump. Megyn Kelly likes J.D. Vance. Tucker Carlson likes J.D. Vance. All of the right people with those big platforms are beginning to walk away from the guy that is impossible to defend, Donald Trump, and move in the direction of the next puppet. Let's not be fooled again. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we are going to continue this show. I have a lot linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. Why is Dan Bongino in love with pedophile protectors and data centers? We're going to ask Bobby Sauce. Okay, you guys know Bobby Sauce. He's going to be on our show again too, by the way, in just a couple weeks. He's fantastic, a killer content creator, comedian, and he has a great video that we're going to run for you. Dan Bongino is now coming out and supporting crazily the build out of these dystopian data centers. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. I have a piece, The Coming Dystopia. Tucker Carlson interviews Richard Werner. We're going to go through that. Dire predictions from one of the most respected and famous economists in the world. Blockbuster interview between Tucker Carlson and Richard Werner. We have Sasha Latypova piece linked, Utterly Insane and Criminal. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is backing the indefinite detention of a healthy woman. That is linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. I have a link to a Pfizer whistleblower that is now saying that Hantavirus is totally fake. So you might want to take a look at that. And we have another piece, if we have time for this. This is from Midwestern Doctor, and I've already featured this piece on the Shannon Joy Show. It came out in 2025, but it's killer. And it speaks to the medical industrial complex. It's entitled Dermatology's War Against the Sun. As we're moving into the summer months, you're seeing all kinds of things out there about skin cancer. This piece is killer, and I wanted to put it in the show notes so that you guys could take a look at it. It is a deep dive on this psychological operation that was started 100 years ago to convince every American that the sun, the life-giving, the number one life-giving element in the universe is somehow poison to your body. It's pretty insane. And I think it's definitely a psyop. We're going to look at that when we come back on the Shannon Joy Show. So before we go to break, if you're watching right now on Rumble, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, smash it right now. It's how we grow the algorithm. If you haven't chatted on the live chat or you haven't said hello on the live chat, I love to say hello to new chatters. So make sure you join the live chat, and I'll read some of your comments when we come back. If you're watching on YouTube or Substack, thank you so much. I'm going to check out your comments as well in the break. And I'm also going to keep an eye on the Twitter comments as well. Hopefully at some point, when I figure out what I'm doing here, I'm going to be able to see all of the comments from every single platform in the same place. And so I'll be able to give all of you a ton of love. Right now, the only one I can see in show as I'm doing the show is the Rumble live chat. So Guitar Lily, thanks for that comment. There's a new documentary called Sunspiracy about the sun BS. Really interesting. You guys, this is a really, really interesting deep dive by Midwestern Doctor. It is totally sourced. I mean, it's unbelievable. I want to say it's like 30 pages long, printed out, because I printed it out years ago. And it's just, I mean, it has everything that you need. It's something actually that everyone should probably print out and bring to your dermatologist, because they'll probably lose their minds. They'll probably curl up in the fetal position and have a good cry, because I mean, it basically rips the rug out from underneath them. Everything we've learned about the sun causing cancer looks like it was a lie. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit here on the Shannon Joy Show. So keep it tuned. We'll be back in a minute. He also said this: it looks like the correction in the tech stocks, so not just Bitcoin, but that bubble that we are talking about, has finally begun. That's bad news for Bitcoin and the tech stocks, as the tech rally was its main support. As we see the tech stocks begin to sell off, Bitcoin should crash. Gold will likely head in the opposite direction as investors now finally begin to buy a true safe haven asset. We haven't seen huge gains in gold and silver because the dominance of the PSYOP, the marketing campaign, the propaganda campaign that has been waged against the American people and against the markets over the past 3 years, hyping up the AI bubble relentlessly. I've never seen anything like it. At some point, people are going to realize, and investors are going to realize, retail investors and institutional investors are going to realize that there's no there there. And everybody is realizing it now. I'm seeing it all over my social media. Everything that we told you here on the Shannon Joy Show is coming true. And this is when people move into safe haven assets. Safe haven assets for, the entirety of human history have been gold and silver, predominantly gold. If you do not have a gold strategy, I want to highly encourage you to go to shiftgold.com/joy. That is shiftgold.com/joy ASAP, like today, to get your metal strategy in place. At Shift Gold, you can buy and sell physical gold and silver. You can explore hedging against the chaos with a gold or silver-backed IRA. And he even has an option for tokenized gold, which gives you the ability to buy physical gold and silver. You don't take custody of it, but you can buy it in smaller chunks. So you can allocate $50, $100, $200 a month to that tokenized gold. And as soon as you hit a certain threshold, you can trade it in and you can actually take custody of your physical gold and silver. It's a great option for people who don't have enough money to meet those reserves if you're buying physical gold and silver, and for younger investors, people who want to begin to hedge. So that's shiftgold.com/joy. shiftgold.com. All right, make sure that every time you shop at the satellite phone store, sat123.com/joy, that is sat123.com/joy, you are using the JOY promo code. That is going to get you at least 10% off your entire order. And if you're looking at products like generators or solar panels, if you're looking at a satellite phone and you're going to get a satellite phone subscription, those could be upwards over thousands of dollars. So that 10% discount is going to be huge. But they do have the entire line of Faraday products, the dark bags. So these are amazing. The Faraday technology not only protects you from harmful EMF radiation, but it also protects your phone from an EMP attack or any type of breakdown. So great products. The Faraday collection also shields you, protects you from the prying eyes of the federal government or the big tech bros. That's right. When you drop your phone or your device into a satellite phone store Faraday bag or backpack, you're off the grid. You are untraceable. They can't find you. And it gives you that added element of privacy while also protecting you from those harmful EMF radiation rays. So just really great technology, the best out there, and at the best prices when you use that JOY promo code. So sat123.com/joy. That is sat123.com/joy. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. So thankful for the advertisers and the sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show. It's the only way we can keep the lights on here at the SJ Show is through those sponsorships. And so super thankful for the folks over at Satellite Phone Store. So thankful, of course, for Peter Schiff and the team over at Schiff Gold. And I'm working on a couple new relationships that I'm going to be introducing in July and August. I love these products. Sneak peek, it's a tallow company. It's a tallow soap and balm company that I am obsessed with. I'm using their products. The price points are perfect. I love the owners. And so we're working on a collaboration that I'm going to be introducing in July. I'm super excited. And there are going to be a lot of great discounts for the Joy audience. When I say I'm obsessed with the products, I'm obsessed. They're amazing. Amazing. And the prices are great. And then I have another company that I'm working on. I'm using their products right now as well. And just absolutely loving them. We're going to roll that out in I think it's August. So I'm very picky, as you guys know, with my sponsors. I've had a lot of sponsors here, a lot of great companies. Recently, I've been just a lot pickier with who I work with. I'm doing longer term collaborations, and I'm making sure that I love the products, that I'm using the products, and these are things that are a daily part of my life. So I'm very excited about those. They have a tallow sunscreen, Gaelic Monkey. Isn't that interesting? So yes, thank you to our sponsors. If you are in the market for anything over at the wellness company, so your ivermectin, your Fenben, your pharmaceutical products, if you need telehealth, if you need an emergency kit, anything that you need regarding health, pharmacy, and nutraceuticals, go to twc.health/joy and use my Joy promo code every single time. A lot of you guys have prescriptions that you get every single month. If you switch over to TWC, some people can get free prescriptions, which is amazing. They have a great program there for you, and which is absolutely amazing. And every time you get that prescription, you're reminding them why they advertise on the Shannon Joy Show by using that promo code. So it's really super important. And the same with the Satellite Phone Store, JOY. That's the promo code. Super easy. Obviously, Schiff Gold. You want to go to my URL, and then also PCM and Associates as an amazing sponsor. So thank you to all of our sponsors. And to those of you who support the Shannon Joy Show monthly with your contribution at theshannonjoy.com, theshannonjoy.com. Many of you also support this show through subscriptions on Substack and on Twitter, here on Rumble, and on Locals. Thank you guys so much. $5 a month. $10 a month. Some of you are contributing $50 to $75 to $100 a month because you believe in how important the topics are that we cover here on the Shannon Joy Show every single day. And for those of you who have committed to helping support this show, I am overwhelmed with appreciation. And I promise you that I will every day try to be a very good steward of your contributions. And this audience means a lot to me. You all mean a lot to me. And you all keep me honest. You keep me sharp. You bring new information. You introduce me to commentators and aggregators and journalists and ideas that I wouldn't normally know. I love these live chats. So you guys are great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So appreciate all of you. And as Buskman says on the live chat, it doesn't hurt if you hit that thumbs up button right now on Rumble. Appreciate you. Really great comments in the live chat here. Patrick Wood is now saying that the goal is not to stop the implementation or the attempted implementation of technocracy or techno-fascism, but to survive it 100%. They're going for it. I actually disagree with Patrick Wood on that, though. I disagree with a lot of the people who are ringing the alarm bells about technocracy and techno-fascism. Many of them think it is very sophisticated and it's going to take over everything and all those things. I happen to think there's not a lot of there. I happen to think, and this is just my opinion, it's based on my observations, my gut, but I have a feeling we are in a Wizard of Oz kind of moment here, where there's this, this elaborate machine, right? That spits out, the smoke and the fire and the lightning, and it's all controlling. It looks big and super scary, and meanwhile, behind the elaborate machine is like the little old guy who is not powerful at all. That is that's the situation that I believe. I could be completely wrong. And that's okay. It's okay for people to disagree on some of these things. Daniel Horowitz had a great interview yesterday, says H. Baird 36, on the rise of THC Inc. All the problems, no benefits. Drug dealers love legalizing their products. Doesn't hurt them all a bit. I have not been on, believe me, there's a lot of money in aligning with advertisers. Crypto, gambling, drugs, THC. There are a lot. I mean, I've had offers for some of these types of products, and I will not support them. I will not read for them. That's on my do not. I mean, there's a whole host of categories that I won't read for, and I'm not judging anyone who does. If anyone else does, that's fine. All of the cannabis, all of that, I'm just not comfortable with it. So yeah, interesting. I'm going to have to check out that Daniel Horowitz interview 100%. I wanted to let me read to you this Jimmy Dore. I found the Jimmy Dore post on X about his conversation with Kurt Metzger. I don't know who Kurt Metzger is, but as you know, I did the deep dive on the Shannon Joy Show 10 years ago on QAnon, and I exposed QAnon as the psyop that it is now being proven to be. And this is what he said. Jimmy and Kurt Metzger, and I've often thought that Steve Bannon was a Fed, discussed Kurt's theory that QAnon was essentially a live-action role-playing game designed by Stephen Bannon, Jeffrey Epstein, and a Chinese associate named Gino Yu to manipulate politics and dissipate revolutionary energy. The two talk about how Bannon used video game path working to create a branching narrative that made participants feel like they were solving clues and fighting Satanists alongside Donald Trump. They drip fed limited hangout, horrible information that's absolutely true about the government. And then there's this illusion that there's a good guy side that you can be a part of with your support. He said Bannon is behind the design of that. He's a dark magician, I would say, which is really just an intel person if you want to be secular about it. But 100%, that's what it is, to dissipate your revolutionary energy. What do you think about that? That makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a ton of sense to me. And I couldn't have said it better. And I had the sense of it. I mean, when we did the deep dark on QAnon, and I essentially, because what happened was I was doing my show and talking about discernible policy outcome, like what the Trump administration was doing or not doing. And a lot of it was bad. My biggest gripe with the Trump administration is that he increased the debt and the deficit like exponentially. And essentially, continued most of the policies of previous administrations. And so I'm doing my show, and my listeners, my audience, people following me on socials would be sending me all this stuff from like Q says this, Q says that, QAnon, a crumb here, a crumb there. I'm like, what the hell is this? And at first I just kind of grappled with it and, you know, maybe it's true, maybe it isn't true, but it definitely was limited hangouts, trust the plan. And this added element of drawing people in to play the game is just so perfectly dystopian and characteristic of the time that we live in today, right? Like that's what they're doing. It's you know, it's bread and circuses. I have this thing, I have a printout on bread and circuses. It's panem et circenses. It's Latin, bread and circuses. And it's the way that, you know, in the last gasps of a crumbling and corrupt empire, you know, the politicians want to distract the people away from all the bad things that they're doing so they keep them fat and happy. So bread and circuses, entertainment and food, right? And a lot of people are likening what we're seeing today as bread and circuses. When you see the UFC on the front lawn of the White House, when you see the fake fighting between Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, the kayfabe, the fake elections, the fake assassinations, the attempted assassinations, all of it, you know, seems like a circus. The difference is the citizens of Rome knew they were going to a circus, right? They had the gladiators and the chariot races. Like they knew that it was a circus. Today in the United States of America, they are the circus, right? Like they're play acting in their own world, this elaborate kabuki theater, and we're all kind of involved in it, play acting with them. We live in the strangest times. The strangest times. Juvenal was the Roman poet who popularized panem et circenses, bread and circuses. This is what he wrote in satires. Already long ago, from when we sold our vote to no man, the people have abdicated our duties. For the people who once upon a time handed out military command, high civil office, legions, everything, now restrains itself and anxiously hopes for just two things, bread and circuses, right? Well, in this case, we're anxiously hoping for victory, for our savior, for the good guy to win, for the, you know, all of this to come out, and they're just dragging us along. That makes so much sense to me. What do you guys think? Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Thank you to Jimmy Dore for that post. I reposted it on my Twitter account. By the way, if you're not following the SJ Show on Twitter, my handle is @ShannonJoyRadio, @ShannonJoyRadio. And there was one other thing I wanted to read here because H. Baird, I so appreciate you. Maybe I'll read it tomorrow. I can't find it now. The scripture that you just posted. Here it is. Psalms 37:12-17. So it's Psalm chapter 37, verse 12-17, about how God laughs at the plans of the wicked and will bring them down. H. Baird 36, my mother, you guys know Merle. She used to be on the live chat all the time, but she lives in the country now and has taken herself off social media. Best decision she could ever make. I love it. But Merle used to join us on the live chat. Merle's amazing. I love her. And she called me yesterday, and H. Baird 36, she said, Shannon, God is laughing. God is laughing right now. And she's a very, very faithful Christian. And this is what she said to me. And after she said it to me, I said, I've never said this before ever, but it's so interesting, H. Baird, that you brought up that scripture. Because as she was saying this to me, I said, Mom, it kind of sounds like you're saying a prophetic word. And there's so many prophets out there, false prophets, fake pastors, MAGA pastors. Like I don't go there, but what she said really felt to me. And what she said, H. Baird, she said, Shannon, God is laughing. He is winning. He's winning. She said, first through miracles like ivermectin. She had a bunch of stories of people out in her home, out where she lives, who are using ivermectin for a variety of different things. And she's like, Shannon, they're being cured. They're being cured. And I know that because I'm talking to people who are being cured from cancers with ivermectin. And I said to her, I said, Mom, I have a girlfriend. She's a normie. And she just told me terrible news. Her husband has esophageal cancer and it's just absolutely devastating. She's in great spirits. Again, a normie. Okay. She's not a medical freedom person. She's not a MAHA person. And she says, we have, this great oncologist and it's my niece and we trust her and we're getting this great care and treatment, all the things, chemo and radiation, that type of thing. And, I don't like to be obnoxious about ivermectin and I don't like to shove it in people's face because it's a very personal decision whether or not you're going to supplement or whether or not you're going to go with a more natural treatment. But anyway, so I said to her at the end of the conversation, I said, listen, if you ever are interested in learning about ivermectin or fenbendazole as supplements or to help treat, let me know. I know the best people in the world. I can hook you up with the best people in the world. And she said, Shannon, we're already on it. This is a normie. This is through an oncology center. She said, Shannon, we're all over it. He's already on it. I'm blown away by that. And so in speaking about the culture, that's another cultural victory is that we're just penetrating. And my mom said, she said, listen, they tried to kill us with all of their military countermeasures and they tried to deny us life-saving drugs and God is laughing. It's getting out there. And the second thing that she said about God laughing was artificial intelligence and the technocracy. And she said, it's like artificial intelligence is like the Tower of Babel. It's confusing all the language. Nobody trusts anything anymore that they see on screens. And it's muddling everything and confusing everyone. That's good because the screens are full of lies. They're full of lies and manipulations and QAnons and PSYOPs and layered PSYOPs wrapped in misinformation, all wrapped up in disinformation campaigns and propaganda. This is what we're dealing with, but it's having the impact of forcing people back into nature, back into humanity, back into being human, using words. LT Oracle of Truth, AI is eating itself. I agree. So H Baird 36, thank you, because I wasn't even going to necessarily talk about this on the show today. I have it in my notes and I wanted to tell you guys about it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to weave it in. And you helped me to do that, H Bird, with that scripture, which is just insane. What are the odds that H Baird, I don't think you've ever put a scripture on the live chat before. And here you did today. So we have a mighty God. We have a mighty natural God. And the schemes and the plans of the wicked, these God complex AI tech fascists, full of pride, just grotesque. They're not going to win. Mark my words, they are not going to win in this life or in the next one. And we just have to keep plugging away. All right, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, full analysis of the Tucker Carlson interview, one of the most important interviews out there if you want to begin to understand what's going on with the economy and what they're going to do to our finances. I've been hollering about this for the past year and a half. We saw this coming a mile away. The technocracy, techno-fascism, the digital surveillance state, digital ID, digital currency, and total control. Well, now, one of the most respected and popular mainstream economists in the world, Richard Werner, is ringing the alarm bell. And he is, in this interview with Tucker Carlson, did a deep dive into what that techno-fascist money system is going to look like. We're going to go over that again. It's linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show if you want to check it out. So let's go to commercial break. When we come back, I will read some of the comments from our Substack followers and our YouTube followers. Thank you guys for being with us. If you're on any of the socials, thumbs up, like, share, comment. Thumbs up, like, share, comment. That helps the show to grow. All of you are amazing. I will be back in a moment to continue on the Shannon Joy Show. When you are shopping at the wellness company, make sure that you use the JOY promo code. It's going to get you lots of goodies, free shipping, a percentage off of your order every single time, whether it's an emergency kit or ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, whether it's a second opinion. So many people are benefiting from the telehealth that is provided at the wellness company. If you don't trust the opinion of your doctor, if you want a second opinion, if you don't trust a diagnosis, this is a way for you to go out, take control of your own health. You can get your own second opinion at the wellness company. The emergency medical kits are absolutely amazing. The contagion kit, every American needs an emergency medical kit in their home. It is an amazing source of peace of mind. You will have the life-saving prescriptions that you need, antibiotics, things like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. Sometimes in an emergency situation, certain medications are hard to get on purpose. You don't have to worry about that when you are prepared with that emergency kit. In fact, one of the listeners of the Shannon Joy Show mentioned that she purchased her emergency care kit about 8 months ago and has already used it 3 times. How amazing is that? Sometimes you just need access to that prescription. You don't have time to get to the doctor. It's such an easy process. You go to twc.health/joy. That's twc.health/joy. And you sign up. You have a consultation with one of the wellness company doctors. They work out all of your prescriptions, get them ready for you. You assemble the kit, and it is in your home on your doorstep about a week and a half later. It is such an easy process. And with the Joy promo code, you're going to get $60 off your emergency kit. It is worth every penny. People absolutely love it. And you'll get $60 off plus free shipping when you go to twc.health/joy. That's twc.health/joy, and absolutely use that JOY promo code because it's a huge discount. Hey everyone, I just want to take a moment to thank one of my longtime friends, associates, my financial advisor, and a beloved sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. Don Polano, as many of you know, was the very first Shannon Joy Show advertiser almost 12 years ago, and he's been with us ever since. I trust Don Polano. He manages some of my assets and my retirement fund, and he's offering his services to all of you. He can take clients anywhere in the country and even across the globe over at PCM and Associates. And as you guys know, it is so important today. There's so much volatility and chaos. You need a human being, a person that you trust, and a person that shares your values. And that's Don Polano at PCM and Associates. So if you are looking for someone to help you manage your retirement or have investment advice, please consider calling Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. His number, 1-800-536-1368. That's 1-800-536-1368. And of course, you can go to PCMPolano.com. That is PCMPolano.com to learn about all of his services and get in contact with his team. Again, so thankful for Don Polano at PCM and Associates. And I think that you are really going to appreciate his services. So that number again, 1-800-536-1368 for a financial advisor that you can trust. Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Shannon Joy Show. Darn it all to heck, we are not live on Substack again. I do not know what's going on with Substack. I'm going to work on it again tonight, but we are live on YouTube, and I'm so pumped at the growth that we are experiencing on YouTube right now. Just want to say hello to all of you on the live chat. We have CJ9136. Hey, Shannon. Lloyd White is great to see you. Always great videos. Thank you. Hey, Stephanie Green, 6888. They want us all on UBI, yet want us to rent everything with what money? Right? We own nothing. That's their plan for us. Deepwater One, they are looting everything as they are collapsing everything at the same time. Night Watch N8, great to see you. He says, sup, Shannon. And one misanthrope, one, great to see you as well. Barry Nelson, 7804. You guys are great. Thank you so much over on YouTube. Again, if you can give us a thumbs up. What do you do on YouTube? Do you like it? Do you give a thumbs up? I just don't know. Yeah, you give a thumbs up. So if you're watching right now on YouTube and you like the SJ show, help us out with that algorithm and give the show a thumbs up. Same for all of you on Rumble as well. So coming up, before we get to this Tucker Carlson piece, I have to tell you guys, I had an absolute blast with Alex Stein, Primetime 99. He's absolutely hilarious. He's the guy who did the just unbelievably hilarious videos during COVID lockdowns, mocking the lockdowns, and he would go to town hall and just be completely absurd. And he's hilarious. We laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed throughout the entire interview. It was supposed to be 20 minutes. I think we went like 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. And it's going to be airing next week. Another thing about Alex Stein that I didn't know, I was on his Twitter account. He has almost 1 million followers on Twitter, and he has a big, big following. He's a stand-up comedian as well. And he's going to be live in Buffalo on July 9th. And I want to go. I think I'm going to have to rustle up a couple tickets, grab Devastatingly Handsome Dr. Joy, and go to Buffalo. It's like less than an hour away from me. And so he's going to be live in Buffalo on July 9th. And so if I go, I'll let you guys know. I would love to meet so many of you. How much fun would that be? I need more comedians in my life. Like, that's what I need right now, because everything is crazy and I can't take it. It's why I love Bobby Sauce. And I didn't get to his video again. Oh my gosh, poor Bobby. And I have to end this show at 2 p.m. today because I have another meeting. So we will get to Bobby Sauce on Dan Bongino. It's just a funny video and I wanted to run it today. But yeah, I need more comedians in my life. I need to laugh more, and we have to laugh through all of this because it is very dark. It is all very, very, very dark. I'm also talking to, again, I mentioned Brandon Straka next week on the Shannon Joy Show live full hour. He is the leader of the Walk Away movement. He helped millions of Democrats walk away from the party that had betrayed them. Really great movement. I have a feeling, I don't know what he's going to say about this, but I have a feeling based on principles, he is ready to help millions of MAGA people walk away from Trump. And that would be a great thing. So Brandon Straka next week. And I am working on, I'm working with Alex Jones producers right now. They have invited me to come on the Alex Jones show. And I think I'm going to do it. You guys encouraged me to do it. I'm like, should I really do this? I don't know. And you're like, Shannon, big platform. I get to say whatever I want. So whether I agree with them or disagree with them or whatever I think about any of his positions or previous positions, namely like being on the Trump train forever, even after one betrayal after another. Despite all of that, it's great to get this out onto big platforms and get the show out onto bigger platforms. So I think I'm going to do it. And it was mainly, I asked you guys if you thought I should do it, and you said yes. I mean, all of you overwhelmingly said yes, go ahead and do it. So yeah, Ollie Robin 9, great to see you. Raymond Paul. Shannon, I wish you could wake up my sister. She's Q. You know her personally. Really? Q is a cult. Q is, I agree with that. I mean, that piece, I feel like we should get into that deeper. I want that guest. Whoever Jimmy Dore had on his show, I want to get him on my show because, I mean, that was killer. That was the best explanation that I've seen of Q. And if you weren't with me in the last segment, this was a discussion between Jimmy Dore and his guest. And the theory is that Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein created QAnon so that they could dilute the revolutionary energy of people who were dissatisfied with the status quo on behalf of Trump, and also cover for Trump and cover and explain away all of the betrayals that he inflicted upon his voter base. You can see it in that Brandon Straka debate between MAGA and America First. I mean, the MAGA people, they're crazy. They're cuckoo. I don't know how else to explain it. So yeah. Let's get to this interview, though, and this was the one I wanted to direct your attention to. Tomorrow, of course, Sasha Latypova live in the Joy virtual studio. Her piece, 3-part Told You So. She is right about a lot. Highly controversial. For those of you watching on YouTube right now, we got away with some medical discussions today on YouTube, but they're very picky about medical disinformation. And so if you're watching on YouTube right now, there's a lot of what they would call medical disinformation coming up tomorrow with Sasha Latypova. And this is going to blow your mind. What was COVID? Was it even a virus? This is blockbuster stuff that she's working on. We're also going to talk about Bobby Kennedy Jr. Exiting HHS. That is the rumor. And then the biolabs. Okay. Tulsi Gabbard and Ron Johnson and Rand Paul all talking about the super secret biolabs that they found in the US. Well, they've always been there. We've known that for a very long time. It's not new news, but they really want to push that biolab narrative. They need you to think that there are super scary viruses lurking around out there that are going to come and get you, and that the government can weaponize those viruses to come and get you even harder, right? And they need that narrative alive. Sasha's going to blow it out of the water tomorrow. So if you are watching right now on YouTube, we will not be broadcasting live tomorrow on YouTube. We will return on Monday. But this is going to be a blockbuster show tomorrow. You guys do not want to miss it. Get here early, share out the links, grab your friends. We're going to do some serious truth-telling tomorrow. Sasha Latypova is the #1 most frequent guest on the Shannon Joy Show. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. Her knowledge, her areas of expertise, her quick wit. She's funny. She can explain these concepts, really highly complex, technical, and medical subjects very well. And so, yeah, she's going to be great. So this piece, though, I did want to go over before we end the SJ show. And this is the interview between Tucker Carlson and Richard Werner. And this is just an overview. The full, it was a 2-hour interview. It's linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy show. I see you, Lou Melcom, seeing Jimmy Dore at the end of the month. Yes, we need more brave comedians. Jimmy Dore lost many comedian friends when he spoke out during COVID. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is good. We are beginning to see the mainstreaming of the truth that is the incoming technocracy, aka techno-fascism in the surveillance state. We have been out there in the wilderness for 2, 3, 4 years. Whitney Webb began to popularize a lot of this many years ago. We have not been able to get it mainstreamed. The fact that Tucker Carlson hosting Richard Werner, one of the most well-known economists in the world, to talk about this in a financial aspect is very, very good. So we're now seeing mainstreamers or mainstreamed platforms talking about techno-fascism. And this is essentially the premise of their conversation. So Werner, essentially in this interview, is warning that data centers plus AI plus central banking digital currency equals the perfect infrastructure for total control, total surveillance, and permissioned living. They permit you to have money, and they permit you to use your money, and they permit you to live your life as long as it aligns with what the controllers want. So he puts all of the pieces together in this interview, but this is how it will work. Modern AI, this is what they want, especially the large language models and real-time surveillance, requires enormous, always-on computing clusters. These facilities handle petabytes of data, real-time behavioral analytics, biometric matching, and transaction processing at a national and global scale. Once this is built, the same infrastructure that powers AI can instantly monitor, score, and restrict billions of transactions. Richard Werner sees this as deliberate. It's on purpose. They're building the infrastructure for the new financial world order. And that is why the data centers are being warp-speeded by Donald Trump at the behest of his techno-fascist handlers. The billionaire tech bros like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Howard Lutnick, Mark Zuckerberg, and the people behind them, right? So this is the larger plan. This is what they're putting in place. And this is going to equal programmable central banking digital currencies, but under Trump, because they're going to usher it in through the Trojan horse of Trump. They already have. And then Trump is going to hand this over to J.D. Vance. He is the techno-fascist puppet to end all puppets. And J.D. Vance will be the architect of implementing this in the United States of America. It's why you're seeing the data center build out. It's why you're seeing the hyping of AI. It's why they're blatantly pumping and dumping right in front of our faces. Everyone knows that the $2 trillion valuation of SpaceX is absurd. It's absurd. But they're cashing in. They're taking their profits, right? In this fake economy, they're getting into gold, silver, land, real things, and they're taking the land. It's all about the physical assets. And through this infrastructure, they will take control of the most valuable physical asset on the face of the planet. And that is the human species. Every human, you, me, our children, surveilled, controlled, and monetized. We are the new commodity. We are the new herd, the cattle. That's what they're planning on doing. And they're going to use it. This is the way they do it. You're coded with rules, right? Geofencing. So your digital currency, your universal basic income that Elon says he's going to dole out to you will only work inside of approved 15-minute cities or zones. If you step outside, the transaction fails. Purposeful restrictions. So money earmarked for food cannot buy disapproved items like books, travel, protest supplies, right? And meat, fuel, etc. So if they don't want you to eat meat, your money won't work. You won't be able to buy it because they'll turn it off. Time limits. He says funds can be expired or frozen based on compliance. So your carbon score, your social credit rating, that's essentially what X is. It is beginning to build out an infrastructure for social credit rating. And Elon Musk loves this. Elon has talked many times about carbon-based economies. Your vaccine status, maybe you attended a protest, so they can freeze your funds. We saw them work on this in Canada with the truckers' protest. Revocability. So accounts can be remotely disabled for individuals or groups. They've already tried this in China. And artificial intelligence, says Richard Werner in this interview with Tucker Carlson, AI, artificial intelligence, is the enforcer. It doesn't just compute, it analyzes patterns, predicts behavior, and automates enforcement at scale. So when you combine the AI and the compute with the data centers and all of the infrastructure that they're building with digital IDs, ubiquitous cameras everywhere, flock cameras everywhere, on every corner, maybe in your home, maybe your devices begin to spy on you, your refrigerator, your television. The televisions are already spying on people, right? So lot sensors, your phone, wearables, constantly monitoring you, collecting every ounce of data that they possibly can, biometric data included. He argues that it creates a closed loop system, your location, purchases, online activity, and even wrong think. It's a feed that goes into a score that determines what your money can do. No need for secret police, no need for law enforcement, no need for any of it. The system simply says payment declined. That's what they want. And that's what Richard Werner explained in a 2-hour interview with Tucker Carlson. Incredibly astute. This is demonic. Edward Dowd on my show last week said it was satanic. He said, pull the Band-Aid off. Trump is complicit. Trump has betrayed every promise, and JD will as well. Do not fall for the JD Vance swap out in the presidency. He is the arch technocrat. He has been groomed probably since he was a child. Okay, he has been groomed by Peter Thiel, who is involved in all of this, head of Palantir, which is the most powerful corporation on the face of the planet right now. Okay, they are building much of this type of infrastructure through Palantir. JD Vance was created by Peter Thiel. He was groomed by Peter Thiel. He is a techno-fascist. So no, Megyn Kelly, we don't like JD Vance. I don't like JD Vance, and you don't either. And just like you were wrong about Trump, you're going to be wrong about JD Vance as well. I was right about Trump from the very beginning, and mark my words, I'm going to be right about JD Vance. Should he be elevated to the presidency of the United States of America, which I think is going to be likely. This is what they are building for us. This is what we are fighting. This is what we need to wake every American to that we possibly can. Break them out of the cult. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mrs. Nice Guy. I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. And you guys are going to love my interview with Alex Stein. We were dying laughing. He was a big Trump humper, like big time. Alex Stein was a huge supporter of Donald Trump. And yeah, we need to rip the Band-Aid off. People need to exit the two-party system. We need to get human. We need to use cash. We need to keep your land. Do not, this is not financial advice. Hypothetically speaking, if you were to be given the opportunity to sell your property or your home and become a renter, and they're pushing this renter mentality. You saw the video I ran yesterday about the girl who is like, I have a low mortgage, a low interest rate, and I'm just tired of being a homeowner and renting. It's too hard. It's too complicated. It's too expensive. All the things, taxes, maintenance. And I know it's expensive. It's more and more expensive to own a home right now than it ever has been in the history of the world, probably. Don't give up your homes though, because you're paying. People are like, oh, well, rent is, I don't want to pay the interest and the taxes and all of the maintenance costs of owning a home. You're going to pay that anyway. If you are renting, it's just built into your rent. Okay. They want people out of their homes. They want to eliminate private property, and they want to buy up as much as they can around us, or even seize it via eminent domain with this data center, this data center build out project. Okay. Hold on to the land, use cash, hold on to your cash, get into a local credit union, get out of the big banks. That's what I'm doing. I'm diversifying everywhere. I've got cash. I've got stocks and bonds. You got to tell your fund managers to take a look at the index funds, especially as they're being invaded by these ridiculously valued stocks, OpenAI and SpaceX and Anthropic. And just like get prepared, because it's coming. And I don't think, this is what they want. I don't think that they're going to be able to achieve it. I think that we are going to win. We are going to rage against it. We are going to fight back the way that we fought back against the lockdowns, and we are going to win. All right. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you, everyone, for being with me today on the SJ Show. Thank you to our growing audience over at YouTube, everyone who's watching on Twitter. You guys are amazing. Sorry to my Substack viewers. We're going to try again tomorrow. Everyone on Rumble, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today on the SJ Show. Closing out the show, 1 hour and 32 minutes, 90 minutes on the dot-ish, 2 minutes late, but not so bad. All right, we're going to be back tomorrow. Sasha Latypova joins us live in the Joy virtual studio. In the meantime, please support our sponsors. Use that Joy promo code every time you shop at a Shannon Joy Show sponsor. Sign up for the e-blast, theshannonjoy.com, theshannonjoy.com, so that you never miss an SJ Show. Give the show a like, a thumbs up if you're listening at your leisure via podcast. 5-star review is great, and a comment is great as well. Reviews are amazing. And that's how we grow our audience over in podcast land as well. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us today. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all again on the Shannon Joy Show.